Well, earlier we were talking about the routine of taking care of this precious mouth of ours. But we talked about flossing and the plastic pick that you can use for 6 months. Do not throw it away. Do not hurt the turtles, basically, right?
Right.
Do not poke the turtles in the eye.
You save the ocean.
Save the
turtles.
ocean.
Save the whales, right?
But the floss that I use is still the pull-through kind.
Yeah, that's great.
And there are so many different kinds of floss, though. The really, really skinny kind, the wax, cloth, the stuff that's supposed to biodegrade that breaks in the middle of your teeth.
Yeah.
I've tried everything.
Right.
And on your recommendation, I have a floss that I use. Can I say the brand? Is that all right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cocoa Floss.
Yeah, Cocoa Floss is a great one.
That's what I was recommended.
Yep.
So how does one, and I need it because of all of these nooks and crannies in my teeth that we've talked about because of my old crowns, to really get in there and help me get things out.
Yeah.
So how does one go about finding the right kind of floss? Like, do you have any tips on choosing the best floss?
Yeah, it always comes back to utilization. So if someone doesn't like their floss, they're not going to floss. What good is it, right?
Right.
So it would be, let's use the analogy of like exercise. You need to exercise. People like to run. Some people like to use the rower or the Stairmaster or the treadmill. But whatever gets their heart rate up and, and then gets them physically into it is what you should choose. And so floss, some people it's very satisfying to feel that woven floss, that just feels like, it's like wiping a sweater between your teeth.
Yes, right.
I mean, some people like that. I've heard hygienists say that that's what they want, and so
funny.
They don't want to give that up, and I would never want to take that from them. That's great. The opposite side of the spectrum is the glide floss, right? Yes. Or Teflon, which nothing sticks to Teflon, right? It's so slippery that you hardly feel like you're doing anything.
Exactly.
So you're like, gosh, I mean, it's easy to floss, but am I really doing anything, right? So that would be the other side of the spectrum, right? If you're using floss on a string, then you have to, that takes a little bit more skill. You're putting your fingers in your mouth.
Yeah.
And some people don't like to do that. But there are some advantages, like a shoe shine technique. So it's going to wrap around your tooth a little bit better.
I see. Okay.
Then those flossers, don't really do that as much. But you can like articulate the flossers, to do that. If you just take a few seconds to, you can overcome that effect and get the same effect. So I would say you don't want something that's got no texture, and you don't want something that has too much texture because maybe it's difficult to floss for people.
Yes.
Somewhere in between, there's probably a Goldilocks.
Or too skinny.
Just, too much, too little.
Yeah, right, Goldilocks. Right. Yeah, find your Goldilocks floss.
Yeah, exactly. And that's going to be different for each person.
That could be a new brand name for floss. Goldilocks floss.
I know. Goldilocks everything.
Goldilocks everything. Goldilocks life, right? Yeah.
Put Goldilocks on like I'm into like chili oil now. I don't know if you've
Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah, chili
it's just
oil.
Like, right. Just
get the right heat.
Yeah, exactly. Just not too hot, not too cold, just right.
Yeah, just right. So when you are flossing, do you want to take the floss all the way down as far as it will go around your tooth and then pull it through or saw back and forth? What's the best?
I mean, if you're not confident, then I would pull it through.
Okay.
If you've got, complicated bridge work, you might want to pull it through. Or an implant.
I notice that's what you do in my mouth, or when I come in for a cleaning, they pull it all the way.
Yeah, I mean, when we're seating veneers, like we will, and we're flossing for the first time, I'd use the pull through because I don't want to have pressure, coming off. Maybe the cement. I'm just still, it's still hardening.
Right.
Right. And
that'd be bad.
Or curing. So that's where we use the pull through kind of method. But as far as like, every day, I mean, go ahead and go back and forth is is preferable. It's great. The flossers that I like are plackers. 3M makes a good one. I think Scope has Scope and Oral-B have a fiber that's pretty good.
Yeah,
If
Oral-B,
you're going,
I think is what we have.
if you have like a generic brand, the problem with it is not going to be in the plastic. The problem is that the fiber is going to shred quick, and so that's I would say choose the high quality one for the environment, because you can reuse it. You can sanitize it like you would a toothbrush, and continue to use it, and don't throw it away until it shreds, and it would last a lot longer, and it's going to really cut down on our consumption of those flossers and all the plastic that's produced. So that's my message for my environmental message is to reuse your flosser, and that might sound gross to some people, but I think that like it would be better for the environment if we could like reuse that thing.
Yeah, could you like keep it in a little thing with water and hydrogen peroxide, like just dip it in there to sanitize it?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna like introduce like one of these little ultrasonic
cute little, yeah.
Just called it like a Goldilocks bath or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
Goldilocks bath. Yeah,
let's do it.
And then put your branding on it. Put your face on it with your big smile.
Yeah, I'll go to you for some help with my commercial.
Okay, everybody needs one of these in their bathroom. Or in my husband's case, he does his flossing after he eats dinner in his Lazy Boy.
Yeah, I bet something even better than that. Probably that would, instead of chemical, it would be UV. Yeah,
UV. That's a great idea.
Yeah, you could just like have two like LCD screens or lights.
Yes.
Just click it closed.